Hey you guys, it's Yannick. I'm back with another video, and for today's video I wanted to do something that I know that I needed on the internet a few years ago that was never there, and that's server tips and tricks. Tips of the trade, whatever, we're moving on. So basically here are my personal 15 tips and tricks, and I am not a professional. I have worked in restaurants for 5 or 6 years now. Just a little background. I worked at diners for the first 4 years. And the past almost year I've been working at a bar and grill. So I have been a trainer at my past 2 jobs. So I just realized that these are the basic tips and tricks that I would tell someone to just help them get their tips up. I'm really good at making sure that I hit my 20%. And if you don't work in restaurants and you're still just want to watch this video for fun. So basically the goal is to get 20%, to be tipped 20% of your bill. That's just the standard. Some places may be lower, some places may be higher. I'm just saying for where I have always been, that 20% is the goal. But I do get tipped pretty well. I'm told by most of my parties that I'm one of the best servers that they've ever had. I pride myself on giving good service. People often go to my managers and personally tell them how good of a server I am. So clearly I'm doing something right. So hopefully these tips and tricks will work for you. So tip number 1, this is starting out strong. So this is gonna sound shallow, but I am being so real when I say this. Look put together. I am not joking when I say to you, prettier people make better tips. And I'm not saying if you're ugly, you can't make tips, but if you make an effort to have yourself look put together, my nails are always done. I do my makeup, and your hair is done. People notice these things and act accordingly. And I'm not saying this as oh, I'm pretty so I get good tips. It's I've literally noticed that days where I don't wear makeup versus days that I do, I get better tips. Or it's also it can play into different things, your confidence. When my makeup's done and I know that I look good at work, I'm just I present myself more confidently, especially when you're working in a bar. When you work in a bar and people are drinking, you've got a lot more room to be, if it's not an upscale bar, you got a lot more room to be friendly and flirty and joking, and you sell yourself to the table is literally how you make your tips in a job like mine, especially in a college town, because oh, you're young, you're a student, they want to know about you, they want you to talk, they want to, you should smooze, Or I know that my makeup is popping that day when I walk through the bar and all of the women are just oh my God, your makeup looks so good. I'm thank you. And now my confidence is up and now I'm walking to my tables. It's a good day. Let's go. Let's make this money. Okay. Tip number 2 is to smile. My tables always comment on the fact that I have such a nice smile, that my smile brightened their day, that my smile is so bright that it's making them want to smile. And it puts these people in a better mood, and happier people tip better. That is what the overarching theme of this. Happier people tip better. Okay, tip number 3 is to make your intro and generally include your name. I introduce myself by name all the time. People always, I go by Yanni at work just because it's easier for people to pronounce, or for me to introduce myself as that than Yannick, because when people have questions, they're what did you say? So it's Yanni. It's just real simple at work. So have that in your intro. I don't know, do your little thing. Mine, now I've got to think about it because I'm pressure. Hey you guys, my name is Yanni. I'll be taking care of you today. So can I get you started with something to drink? We've got Pepsi products, beer, wine. Number 4, which you kind of just witnessed, always give specific drink options. When you leave people to not know, 1, where the drink options are or what their choices are, they resort to just getting water. And that does not help your check average, which does not help your tip, girl. So I always list start off with the brand. I always say we have Pepsi products just so people go into it knowing, no, we don't have Coke. So if you're a Coke person, I am sorry. And a lot of times people say, oh, can I have a Diet Coke? And I always go, is Diet Pepsi okay? Just let your people know, because I'm one of those people where I won't take Pepsi instead of Coke. I'm just good. I'll get something else. If you work in a bar like I do, definitely mention beer, wine, special drinks you've got going on. If it's happy hour, what's happening. Or let's say you do have a special drink. You're we do have $5 mojitos, but if you want to do a higher shelf alcohol, we've got Kettle One, we've got Tito's. Did I say mojito? And then I started listing off vodka. Girl, what? I was thinking of Moscow Mules. Another big tip is never let a cup go empty. If you see someone's beer is getting low and there's that much beer left in it, walk by, hey, you want to do another one of those? It's just easier to convince someone to get another drink when they're still tasting it and that flavor is still fresh in their head. If they finish the cup and they've been sitting there for a while, they may just be I'll just take a water, it's fine. But if they're still drinking that beer and they've got the taste of beer and you're oh, let's have another one, there you go, higher check. Another big one is to gauge your group. Figure out if they want to have a quick and efficient service, like a lunch crowd who may just be there on their lunch break, or if they want to have fun, they want to be chatty with you, they want you to tell jokes, they're asking you about yourself. Two very different like services people will receive then. Number 6, offer an appetizer. Especially if there's a group of people, offer something that you know is a good group size item so that they'll be impressed when it comes out. Like the nachos at my job are huge. So if there's 2 people, 3 people, I'm like, yeah, definitely get the nachos. And then you bring up this huge plate of nachos and they're like, oh my God. And again, they feel like they got bang for their buck, which in turn leaves them with a happier tip for you. Number 7, when people are ordering entrees, always, or anything really, always offer upgrades. I am the queen of upselling at my job. So basically, let's say someone orders a burger and they're like, okay, would you like fries with that? And I go, would you like to add cheese and bacon and make them loaded? And you'd be amazed at how many people are like, wow, I actually didn't even think about cheese and bacon. Yes, throw it on there. $2 extra. And let's say you've got a big party and that first person says yes to it. Then everyone else is like, ooh, cheese and bacon, that sounds good. And now suddenly you've got 12 cheese and bacons and your check is $24 higher. Number 8, give honest food reviews. If people at my table want to know something tastes good, I'm going to tell them my real opinion because, again, I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I totally love that disgusting burger you're going to order. Then they get the burger and they also realize it's disgusting and now they're mad because they want something else. I let people know and I tell them, I don't want you to get something that's gross and then you think I've got bad taste and now you've had a horrible experience. Like I literally say this and my tables are always 1, think it's hilarious. 2, they're like, I'm so happy you were honest with me. And 3, leave good tips. Number 9, when you're dropping off food, automatically just bring extra napkins. If you know there's a condiment that's most likely going to go with it, like there's fries and you don't have ketchup at the table, just bring a bottle of ketchup. It just saves yourself that headache. And then when you're dropping off the food before you leave, ask your table if they need anything else. Like if they want extra sauces, they want and a refill on a drink, anything that they need, just so that they don't have to like wait and then you walk away and then they realize 2 seconds later, oh, I needed mayo for my burger. You've already covered your bases and you're coming right back with it. Also, everyone always needs extra napkins. Unless your managers are crazy about giving out extra napkins, because I've had a manager like that and was like, no, 2 napkins per trip. Girl, there's 6 of them at the table. What are they doing with 2 napkins? Like, number 10, the classic 2-bite, 2-minute rule. After you drop off the food, check back within 2 bites or 2 minutes. Just do a quick walk around just so any quick things that you missed, you can address. But if you follow my tip number 9, then the 2-bite, 2-minute rule may not even have to be done because, you know, you have covered your bases. But it always is good to check back to make sure like the food was cooked correctly, that the kitchen didn't mess up just on something you couldn't see off of like visually looking at it. Number 11 is to offer dessert. And this is for 2 reasons. And 1 is for the customer and 1 is for you. Actually, they're both for you. 1, higher check average. And again, kids, what does a higher check average equal? A higher tip if they're not trash. And 2, it'll gauge if they're done or not. Because let's say you've got a table that's like sitting there and they look like they're done, but they're not like saying anything. So you walk up and say, oh, so we doing any dessert today? No? Okay, I'll go grab the check. There you go, and you saved yourself that awkward moment. Number 12, this works if you've got the time, but if you run around on a football Saturday the way I do at my job, this may not happen. But if you've got the time, add a thank you and a smiley face on your check. Sometimes it puts people in a better mood. I've realized, especially if you got kids, I used to keep a pack of stickers in my book. So if a family had kids, I'd put a sticker on there, or I'd go to the kid and I was like, you did so well at dinner. Like, do you want a sticker? You know, just put people in a good mood right before they write your tip. So number 13 is a personal one of mine, which is not necessary to be a good server, but I like to do this just to double check the computer system, especially if you're starting a new job, is to just track your tips. I just write down every tip that I get on a little post-it note that I stick inside my book, and then I just double check it back with it at the end of the night. Okay, the angle is different, but the clip cut. Number 14, which really should probably be number 1, is be ready to multitask. When you're a server, you don't have time to complete one task before moving to the next. You literally have to do 17 things all while you're in the back before your customers see you, because if someone thinks that you were helping someone before them, oh no. Server brain is a very real thing. Sometimes I go home and I remember something that I forgot to do at work. And I'm like, girl, that was 4 hours ago, but like, you just remembered that you needed to bring ranch to a table. Like, and number 15, my personal favorite rule is befriend the host and the back of the house. First off, you befriend the host so that when that annoying table, that family of kids that just don't know how to act, and you can already tell they're gonna run around and the parents aren't gonna tip, they're not in your section because you're friends with the host. Number 2, befriend the back of the house, because when you put in that complicated like lunch order for yourself, they'll make it. Or when you mess up food in the middle of the rush, they won't scream at you as much. You know, they're still gonna scream, but only a little bit and for like a second. And then like you've moved on and you're good, you know? So those are my 15 server tips and tricks. I hope that you guys enjoy it. I hope that it helped some of you. Like I said, I am no professional. This is not what you are going to learn at a high class fancy establishment, but like for the average server, I hope this helped you, girl, you know? Also, I am so blind because I don't have my glasses on that like I'm going cross-eyed right now. Okay, so I love you guys. I hope that these tips helped. Have a wonderful night.